Welcome back, Insiders. Today, we're here to settle a debate. Is it illegal for supplement companies to charge a percentage of a settled claim?
Ignorance of the law is not an excuse for not following the law.
Because you've got a conflict of interest. The more you can juice up that supplement, the more you're going to make.
They don't talk to the homeowner. They don't deal to the homeowner. They don't want to get involved on that. And actually, their legal capacities don't allow them to.
Before we get into it, let's be clear. This video is not a legal advice, and the same goes for all the statements from people we interviewed. With that said, there should be few things everyone should agree on. For example, the difference between a supplement company and a public adjuster. So first up, what is a supplement company? These guys are a contractor's secret weapon. When you are working on a project and find extra damage, or you think there are costs that insurance adjuster did not catch, a supplement company steps in to help you recover that money. They handle the paperwork, submitting invoices, photos, and other documentation to the insurance carrier. If this sounds like an estimate company, it's because a lot of firms do both. Estimating services happen on the front end, and supplementing happens after a claim is submitted. Here's the key. Supplement companies can't negotiate with the insurance carrier on policy. They're more like an employee of the contractor working behind the scenes on administrative tasks. A supplement company charges the contractor either a small fee or a percentage of the approved supplemental claim. Now let's talk about public adjusters. They are licensed professionals whose whole job is to represent the homeowner in an insurance claim. They handle everything from start to finish, expecting the damage, reviewing the policy, and negotiating directly with the insurance company to get the biggest payout possible. A public adjuster is the homeowner's advocate. They fight to make sure the policyholder gets what they are owed based on their coverage. And for that, they charge the homeowner a percentage of the total settlement, usually around 10%. If a contractor or a supplement company takes on the role of a public adjuster without license, that's illegal. It's called UPPA, or the unauthorized practice of public adjusting. How that plays out in real life can get tricky. We'll get into more details later on. For now, all you need to know is UPPA means illegal adjusting. Now that we cleared that up, let's get into the debate. A few weeks ago, I posted an interview with my friend Mauricio. He is the CEO of Estimate Experts, a company that I endorse. We talked about their services, and he explained that they charge 5% of approved supplemental claims.
It's not how complicated it is, it's more how solid the estimate is. And remember I told you 80% is here, collecting it is 20% of the effort. As long as you have a solid estimate, anybody can bill it. That's why we offer the option of our client to do it optional. You got the estimate, you got 80% of the job. If you have somebody that can go and call it, fine. It is a pain in the butt. But if you want us to do it, we will take care of that. It will cost you only 5% of the money we collect, but you can have an increase of $40,000.
How much of an increase?
Well, in this case, it was an increase of $40,000. Our fee for the claim management, it will be 5% of the new money we collect.
That interview started a debate whether it is illegal to charge a percent of the approved claim. People were arguing over whether it could be considered public adjusting. My team followed up with people on both sides, and we started with Mauricio himself. He says the role of a supplementer is very different than a public adjuster.
The supplemental company do not represent the homeowner. They don't talk to the homeowner. They don't deal to the homeowner. They don't want to get involved on that. And actually, their legal capacities don't allow them to. They are part of that contracting firm, which we can call it a support, let's say back office support, or like a secretary, right? Acting as secretary, probably following with calls, sending emails, making sure the adjuster got the estimate, all this back and forward back office job. Very different than what a public adjuster is doing, because the public adjuster is actually going to the property, documenting everything. They are scoping the damages themselves. The supplemental company is not scoping the damage. The contractor was the one who scoped it. The supplemental company basically is transcribing that information into an estimate. The pictures, the measurements, and the scope that the contractor, aka in this case, let's say the roofing company, is documenting. Whatever they transcribe is whatever the roofing company is going to provide, right? Actually, they could provide a whole different house. The supplemental company will just create an estimate based on that scope, even though it could be a different house, right? They don't know. They never went to the property. They don't know who the homeowner is. They don't analyze policies, right? They don't do all these things that a public adjuster should do.
So that's one take. But we saw some other post that says charging a percentage of the claim is straight up illegal. One of the people talking about this was my friend Latif, who also owns a supplementing company. Boss Up Solutions charges a flat fee, and Latif said that's because of legal advice he got when he set it up. He said there's a difference between charging a percent of the supplement you write and a percent of the settled claim or the winnings.
So, for example, I'll give you an idea. Commercial claims, because they're so complicated, we charge a percentage of what we write. We do that on the estimating side. We charge a percentage upfront. It doesn't matter if we get that or not. That's me doing a fee-based model, and that's actually okay because I can prove that I'm charging a fee based off a number. I don't win if you get more. I don't win if you get less. I'm just charging you whatever. Okay, that's fair. But when I'm taking a percentage of the wins or the gains, there's the first thing is the unlicensed public adjuster. It can be perceived that way, so the percentage. The fee structure, there's specific regulations by various states, Texas, Florida, Illinois, etc. There's but many of them that actually speak about the fee structure can be construed as inflating cost. It can be construed as trying to potentially leading to insurance fraud or abuse. So the fee structure itself is considered a problem by many people. So number one, you are charging a percentage. You could be perceived as an adjuster, somebody who did get a license. You're charging a fee structure that ends up seen as being something that can inflate the numbers.
Of course, we had a follow-up question. If it's illegal to charge a percent of the approved supplement, why do so many companies do it?
When contractors, supplement companies are charging this percentage fee on the win, they're perceived as public adjusters. There's a reason that public adjusters are licensed, just like tax people, they're licensed, right? So when you give tax advice, it can be seen misleading. I was a Series 6 and 7 salesperson for MetLife way back in the way for mutual funds. We were not allowed to do certain things. There's regulations that told us you can do this, you can't do that. So similarly, there are laws. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse for not following the law. So I can name you 10 states: Florida, Texas, California, Illinois, Colorado, New York, Georgia, Minnesota, your hometown, Pennsylvania, North Carolina. If you looked it up, very strict rules about fee transparency, acting as public adjusters, or charging percentages of gains.
You heard their takes. Now it's time to tell you what we found. There are two big points people bring up when it comes to supplement fees: unauthorized public adjusting and fraud. Let's talk about adjusting first. From our research, charging a percentage of the claim is not enough to be considered acting as a public adjuster. This is because supplement companies charge the contractor, not the homeowner. That being said, if a supplement company is found to be negotiating a claim or advertising as a public adjuster, that could be illegal, even if they are charging the contractor. The way we came to this conclusion was by looking at individual state laws. I will be honest here and say it would be impossible for my team to read every state's insurance code in full. If you find specific exceptions, send them our way and we will investigate. For this video, we focused on 10 states and their definition of a public adjuster. We looked at Minnesota, Texas, California, Illinois, Colorado, New York, Georgia, Florida, Pennsylvania, and North Carolina. In almost all these states, a public adjuster is defined as someone who negotiates a claim on behalf of the policyholder. So if a supplement company is not getting paid by homeowner and they are not arguing over policy or disputing denials, then it would be hard to say they are acting as a public adjuster. The one exception was Florida. The law says anyone who prepares a claim for a policyholder or a third-party claimant is a public adjuster. If a contractor is the third party, then it's possible a supplement company could be accused of acting as an adjuster without a license. But even in Florida, it's about what an adjuster does, not the fees. If you need more proof, we ask Steve Badger. He is a lawyer representing insurance carriers, and he is not biggest fan of supplement companies. Here's what he said about my interview with Mauricio and charging a percentage.
So there's nothing illegal about a supplementing company charging a contingency fee. It's not illegal. Does it reek? Sure it does, because you've got a conflict of interest. The more you can juice up that supplement, the more you're going to make. So what I never heard at all in that interview was a statement of, hey, they got out on the job, they identify a few additional items that need to be done, and then that's what they bundle up and send in. Does that even happen? Does the contractor say, oh yeah, we got out there, everything was great, everything's good, but we just had to replace 3 sheets of decking, and they send that off? No, that's not what's happening here. Okay, so is it illegal? No. Does it stink? Yeah. Do I tell my clients to hang up the phone when the third-party supplementer calls them? I'm sorry, I do. Right? But if the brick and mortar contractor calls my client and says I had to replace the drip edge, it couldn't be saved, then my client should listen to that contractor.
So there you have it. Steve said the fees aren't illegal, but he did bring up another issue, which is fraud. Steve Badger, Chip Maryland, and many others bring up the potential for insurance fraud when they talk about supplementals. If the claim is inflated or completely made up, then it is fraud. We can all agree on that. But what if the claim isn't inflated? Can a supplementer being paid a percent of the winnings be considered fraud? From our research, the answer in general is no. Most state laws do not reference estimating firms because they are pretty new. There isn't much case law on them for the same reason. What we have to go on are fraud regulations as they apply to contractors. In general, these laws talk about giving false or misleading information to an insurance company. Many states also ban contractors from paying or rebating a homeowner's insurance deductible. Based on these rules, we can't say that a supplement company charging a percent of the claim is fraud on its own. There would need to be evidence that they inflated the claim or misrepresented it themselves. Now, like I said before, there is no way for my team to read every insurance code in every state. If you find specific law or even a lawsuit that references these fees, send it our way. We've covered adjusting and insurance fraud. So are there any other laws that could apply to supplementing fees? Our answer is, it's possible. The main area of concern would be consumer protection. Both state and national laws ban price gouging, false or deceptive advertising, and fraud. If a contractor or a supplement company inflates a claim, that would violate consumer protections. But what about the fees? If a supplement fee isn't disclosed to the homeowner, but the contractor still passes on to them, that could be considered a hidden fee, which is illegal in some states. Others, like Illinois, have laws that require contractors to charge based on the actual work performed. The FTC also has proposed a rule to ban hidden or deceptive fees across the board. With all of these laws, the issue is transparency, not whether a supplementer charges a percent or not. Contractors may need to disclose supplement fees in some states. In other cases, they may be banned from passing the cost on to the homeowner. My advice to contractors is this: be honest about your costs. If you have specific questions about your contracts or estimates, you should always double check with a lawyer in your state. That's all I've got for you on this topic. Hopefully you learned something. Let us know what you think in the comments and what questions you still have. As for me, I highly recommend Estimate Experts and Maurice. I see their competitors hate their model and us recommending them. I think they're one of the best guys in the business. I also recommend CSS. Both of my recommendations for supplement companies are in comments below. And I personally feel that some of their competitors got bad legal advice and built entire business model based on that advice. If you ask me what's better for the contractor, that's a percentage from the increase, not the flat fee. Because if someone charges you flat fee and doesn't deliver results, I mean, that flat fee could be way higher percentage from entire claim, eating your potential profit. So I believe that Mauricio and CSS company have really good offer for the contractors. It's no brainer to me if you are in insurance game, if you charge insurance companies on a regular basis, it's usually way cheaper to hire third-party supplement company than to hire full-time employee to add to your overhead to do it in-house. That's just my personal opinion. Comment below where you on this debate, and I'll see you guys in the next video.